Well, that's the big story that we're tracking this evening. The India versus Pakistan T20 World Cup 2026 match in Colombo on February 15th is very much on, as Pakistan's boycott call has once again fallen flat.
Absolutely, Preeti. The Pakistan Cricket Board has relented days after its government decided to boycott the February 15 Group A match in support with Bangladesh, who were removed from the tournament for refusing to travel to India for their matches.
Well, that's right. In fact, the Pakistan government confirmed that the team will take the field against India to protect, quote-unquote, the spirit of the game and the commitment to those affected by non-participation. The decision, in fact, comes after various external parties and factors put Pakistan on the back foot.
Absolutely, ICC sanctions and penalties were a major possibility, while Sri Lanka and UAE's cricket boards wrote to Pakistan asking them to reconsider their decision.
Meanwhile, the ICC acknowledged the efforts of all parties involved in resolving this crisis.
We'll be decoding that and a lot more on the show today, the Pakistan's U-turn. But before we move to our experts, listen to the reactions that have been coming in on this.
ये अपने बॉल पे खुद ही बोल्ड हो गए हैं, क्योंकि इन्होंने बड़ा समर्थन दिखाया था कि जी हम नहीं खेलेंगे अगर बांग्लादेश को इंक्लूड नहीं किया जा सकता। अब वो तो इंक्लूड नहीं हुए, तो अब तो मुंह की खानी पड़ी है ना। यू टर्न हो गया कि नहीं हम खेलेंगे नहीं, हफ्ते बाद कह रहे हो हम खेल रहे हैं। तो आपका कहीं ना तो कोई वजूद है, कहीं खड़े नहीं होते और आप कोशिश कर रहे हो कि आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया या इंडिया या फिर इंग्लैंड की रीस कर लो, तो वो तो हो नहीं सकता है। तो मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि पहले भी मैं उनको कहा था कि जो उन्होंने कहा था उस पर अड़िंग रहिए। अगर आपको लगता है कि मैच नहीं होना चाहिए, मत खेलिए हमारे साथ।
सर, फाइनली ये सारा सुलझ गया, पाकिस्तान भी खेल रहा है, अब आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
मेरा कहना है कि बहुत अच्छा डिसीजन हुआ। आईसीसी का बहुत अच्छा एफर्ट रहा है, जिसकी वजह से जो है ऐसा हल निकला जिसमें सारे लोग सहमत हैं। बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, आईसीसी सब सहमत है। हमने डे वन से कहा था बीसीआई की तरफ से कि जो आईसीसी निर्णय लेगा हम उस निर्णय को मानेंगे।
लेकिन इसमें घाटा तो बांग्लादेश का हो गया ना?
नहीं, बांग्लादेश कोई घाटा नहीं हुआ। बांग्लादेश को हम आईसीसी का एक जो है अलग से एक एडिशनल टूर्नामेंट दे रहे हैं और उसके अलावा उन पर कोई पेनल्टी इम्पोज नहीं होगी, तो सारी चीज़ें हमने की।
लेकिन पाकिस्तान और क्रिकेट बोर्ड और बांग्लादेश क्रिकेट बोर्ड को तो आपने एक साथ कर दिया।
नहीं, एक साथ कोई नहीं किया। इसमें तो पूरी आईसीसी के तो सब मेंबर हैं ना, कोई एक साथ नहीं किया। हमने भी उनके साथ जो है अच्छा बर्ताव किया। बांग्लादेश ने आईसीसी का धन्यवाद भी किया। तो आईसीसी चेयरमैन और आईसीसी में सबके एफर्ट से जो है बहुत अच्छा हुआ है।
आने वाले दिनों में क्या आपको लगता है कि पाकिस्तान के साथ और भी कुछ कभी खेलेंगे या नहीं खेलेंगे? जो 3 प्रपोजल रखे थे, बायलैटरल खेल लो।
नहीं, उसमें कोई निर्णय नहीं हुआ, लेकिन ये है कि हम अभी जो एक मौके पे हमारा विश्व कप का टूर्नामेंट सक्सेसफुल होगा, क्योंकि अब सब उसमें खेल रहे हैं।
अच्छा होगा, बड़ा मैच है वर्ल्ड कप का, टीवी के लिए भी बड़ा मैच है। 15 तारीख को मैच है, तो देखेंगे। इंडिया को हराना आसान नहीं होगा। इंडिया बहुत अच्छा टीम है।
Well, we always knew that it's just a matter of time that Pakistan announces this U-turn, but finally they caved in after 8 days of intense pressure. Let's tell our viewers, Resha, what really brought about this U-turn from Pakistan, the inside story as we know, how it all began. Pakistan began with a hard political line, so much so that even their Prime Minister came out and committed to everyone that Pakistan will not play against India. Now, that was a big statement from Pakistan when they declared that they will not play against India on February 15th. And they also framed it as solidarity with Bangladesh, because according to them, Bangladesh was wrongly taken out of this World Cup. Now comes the ICC's financial stick. This is where the pressure started mounting on Pakistan when ICC reminded them that the boycott will lead to penalties, and heavy penalties at that, because they cannot do selective participation. They also warned Pakistan of taking disciplinary action against the PCB, and then reports started emerging hinting that Pakistan U-turn is going to come in and they would have saved 1,470 crore rupees in terms of, the losses that could have been incurred.
Which I think is the major reason why Pakistan actually took this U-turn after 8 days of all the tantrums we've been reporting here.
Well, that's right. And of course, the revenue part of it was very important. The financial part was very important. And then there was pressure from countries like Sri Lanka. They played the emotional card. They reminded Pakistan that in 2009, when the Lankan team bus was attacked in Lahore, it was the Sri Lankan team that stood with Pakistan and did not boycott that particular series. And that was a big emotional card that Sri Lanka played. Sri Lanka also told them that Pakistan had to revive the game that time because Sri Lanka stood with them, and they warned that cancelling this match against India would lead to major financial losses to the host country, which is of course Sri Lanka, and Colombo is the place where this match is taking place. Now, Pakistan's email to Sri Lanka is what we know of. They had to reply to the friendly board. Pakistan replies to Sri Lanka speaking of invoking force majeure. This is where their bluff was really called off, because in this particular clause of the ICC rules, they were stuck. They are, these parties cannot be freed from liability. It was not a natural calamity citing which Pakistan was trying to get out of the situation. Right. And that's where, Resha, we saw ICC stepping in and asking PCB how it does not fall under force majeure and how they will have to really rescue themselves, and this bluff will not be accepted.
We saw the pressure which the ICC built, and also in the last few days how Pakistan was just left in isolation from Bangladesh, from UAE and from all its friendly countries.
That's right, and that's where the PCB was told that the boycott will lead to sanctions and fines which they are not capable of handling. PCB agrees to come to the negotiating table. That's where we saw the representatives from ICC, PCB and BCB coming together in Lahore. So that is where the negotiation started. These were the emergency talks that took place, and all the three parties came together. The ICC also, I have to admit here, Raisha, had to soften their stand on Bangladesh a bit. And I think this is where the PCB is claiming a tiny bit of victory in terms of bringing ICC to the negotiation table. They have allowed Bangladesh to avoid the penalty that would have been imposed on them as a result of, not participating in the T20 World Cup. And the face-saving measure allows Pakistan a bit of a reversal, really. It was a moment where they had to redeem themselves, and this perhaps is a bit of an opportunity for them.
But Bangladesh actually emerges as the biggest loser, if
Absolutely.
I may, in this whole fiasco.
And that's right. That will stay for a while, even if they are considering that they have not been asked to pay any penalty and they will be hosting a ICC tournament in future. That really is nothing. Apart from that, when we talk about the inside story, there was also pressure from the Emirates Cricket Board that added moral pressure on Pakistan, because Emirates Cricket Board and PCB are considered to be very close, and it highlights how a boycott would really hurt the associate nation. So this all came together. There was, pressure from Emirates Cricket Board, Sri Lanka Cricket Board, even the Bangladesh Cricket Board. Right. Last minute, they told them, please go ahead and play this match against India.
Yeah, all the tantrums that we've been seeing in the past 8 days. Preeti, let's also tell the viewers about the possible reasons for this U-turn. What do you think?
Well, of course, there were many reasons, and like we've been summarizing so far, the reason number one is the huge financial penalties and sanctions that were staring PCB in the face if they had gone ahead with this boycott. Second reason is, of course, the risk of potential suspension from the T20 World Cup itself, in which the team is already participating. But if they had continued with their selective participation in this World Cup, they had they were running the potential of being suspended altogether. Third reason that we know is the loss of broadcast rights. The revenue of that was going up to 250 crore rupees, and the broadcasters would have asked for this money from PCB. They obviously don't have this money. So this was something that was playing at the top of their head. Another reason is the loss of hosting rights for future ICC events. Now, I should tell you, Rahisha, anyway, PCB does not have a lot of ICC tournaments in future. Whatever little they have, they were running the risk of losing the hosting rights for those ICC tournaments as well. And of course, reason number 5 is the legal risks, threat to international credibility. Even now, there's not much of credibility which is associated with PCB. I'm sitting on this side, but I'm not siding with them. And another reason is the pressure from external stakeholders, like we just mentioned, cricket boards like the Emirates Cricket Board, Sri Lanka Cricket Board, etc.
Right, Preeti. Let's go across to our guests. We have with us Bure Majumdar, consulting editor, Sports NDTV. We also have with us Vedam J. Shankar, sports journalist and author. And we also have with us Major Nadeem. He is a Pakistan defense expert and, of course, our sports editor, Rika Roy. Thank you for joining us on Prime 5. I want to first come to you, Major Nadeem. What made your country take this U-turn after 8 days of all the drama that we've been seeing?
See, in your last program, I think weeks before, I talked about you asked me about the U-turn, if Pakistan could take a U-turn. So I said, yes, we will take a U-turn if the Bangladesh is compensated. Our decision was on principles, right? And it is not based on the revenue and the money and the suspension. We don't care. Once the decision is on principle, then there is no way back. Moreover, I told you, okay, we have taken the U-turn because you have compensated. The ICC came in. ICC RAB, the deputy chief
Correct,
came
sir.
to Pakistan.
Where is the self-respect? You stick to
and
principles only till the time pressure starts mounting.
we
Once again proved
we honor
that
our
on
friends.
record, your Prime Minister came and he said that
Yes.
Pakistan will not play against India. Now, where are the principles? Did you not know that all these factors will come into play the day the boycott was announced by Pakistan? The minute
There
pressure
is no
started mounting, you ditched your principles.
The Bangladesh, the ICC agreed to compensate the Bangladesh, right, up to 75%. Like they will get the additional ICC tournament. They will be hosting the World Cup, right, with India, and they will not be asked for any penalty, right, any sporting penalty or administrative.
What did
fine or
Pakistan
penalty,
gain from the
right?
situation?
So,
Give me one.
moreover, Pakistan always stands, right, for their brothers, right, as a Bangladesh. Okay, it was basically the double standard of the ICC.
Okay.
They can take the India to a neutral side, but they fail. But they disagree that they don't want to give the neutral side to Bangladesh. Moreover, we honor our friends, right? Are so many friends, and the associate member of this ICC came to Pakistan. The deputy chief of ICC came to Pakistan and requested Pakistani government, right? You have just heard the
You knew that Sri Lanka will do that. Sri Lanka is the country that was going to suffer the most in terms of the revenue losses, the hospitality business, the
Whatsoever.
tourism business.
But we
They have been
honor
your
our
friends
friends.
through thick
Our
and
friend
thin,
requested
and
us.
you were
The UAE
happy to sideline them because you wanted to gain some brownie points with Pakistan ahead of with Bangladesh ahead of their elections.
No,
I'm
it was
sorry,
not a matter
your
of gaining
solidarity with
points or
Bangladesh
revenue
is
or marketing or
definitely
broadcast
questionable,
rights or
but you did not
penalties.
even stand solid with your own Prime Minister. I want to go across to Vedam
Yes.
Jaishankar quickly on this.
They stand.
Mr.
But when
Jaishankar,
our
what is the
brother
reading
came
of
in-
this situation? They could not even save the face of their own Prime Minister.
honor our friends.
You hit the nail on the head when you said, "Where's your self-respect?" When you asked him, absolutely, it is true. Because look, this Naqvi character, who is the PCB chairman, is also their interior minister, which apparently means that he is the second powerful most man in their political setup. Now, what happens is Pakistan gets $35 million out of the ICC corpus. So that means that money would be gone. Second thing is, somebody did the maths and found out that how many crores, 300 crores or something, was the amount of money that the loss would be from this particular game.
Yes.
Pakistan had to make good that money also. If supposing they had paid that money and the revenue they get from ICC is actually more than 50% of the revenue that Pakistan runs their cricket with, Pakistan cricket would have collapsed.
Right.
They thought that there will only be a deduction of 2 points. They didn't understand what was happening. But it was more than 2 points. They had to shell out all these. And whatever Mr. Nadeem is saying about Bangladesh being compensated and all, where has it come out except in Pakistani media? It's not come out through ICC. And the question of ICC going to Pakistan, ICC has always gone to any of the problematic centers. In fact, they went to Bangladesh when Bangladesh said that matches have to be in Sri Lanka, because ICC wants to diffuse the situation at the source itself, which is why they went to Bangladesh.
Good
And
point.
now they went to Pakistan. It's not that they came crawling to Pakistan. He's got all the setup wrong. Somebody has spread him all the wrong news, and that's what he's coming here and vomiting without understanding what is happening.
Right.
Pakistan cricket would have been finished if they had boycotted, because they would have lost a lot more than money.
You can't, sir.
Right. Let's also get our sports editor Rika into this
Same type
conversation.
of ambitions.
We'll give you time to speak,
Yeah,
Major
we'll get
Nadeem.
time.
Let's also get Rika into this conversation. Rika, I can only think of two reasons: penalties and Preeti, isolation that made Pakistan take this U-turn. But Rika, talk to us about the fate of the Pakistani players, right? Because a lot is riding on their shoulders before they head for that match against one of the best teams in the world, Team India.
Well, they almost lost the first match against Netherlands. They play another match against USA before taking on India. So perhaps that match against USA is where they will try and build their confidence. They don't look very high on confidence. Already we hear that there is factionalism within the Pakistan cricket team. They have famously been called the unquiet ones of world cricket. And once again, we hear about factions in the team. Salman Ali Agha and Babar Azam, heading to factions. So we really have to see how Pakistan is able to garner their forces and play as a united team against India. On one hand, it's a fractured Pakistan team playing in this context of, of all the controversies and the political climate in the subcontinent. And on the other hand, it is the team of invincibles, the team of Surya Kumar Yadav. At the moment, I am standing at the Firoz Shah Kotla Stadium and I can hear the sound of the siren that the Indian cricket team is already here. Minutes from now, a member of the Indian cricket team will be addressing. And of course, one of the questions that will be posed to them is, at the moment, what is their state of mind when they know that the cloud has lifted and they will indeed be taking on Pakistan on the 15th of February?
Rika, just for a moment, staying with this, this drama that Pakistan orchestrated of boycotting the match against India, one good point was raised by Vedam Jaishankar just a short while ago when he said that ICC has not come out and announced any sort of concessions to Bangladesh Cricket Board. Do we have any official word from them?
Yeah, they sent a press release yesterday. ICC did say that Bangladesh will be given a tournament, an ICC tournament in 2028, which is the 2028 Under-19 World Cup. The press release also said that there will be no penalties or sanctions put on Bangladesh. These two were the demands put in front of the ICC during the negotiations in Lahore on Sunday. Preeti, what we are also getting to hear is that ICC did tell Pakistan Cricket Board that they will dole out a few SOPs to them, but those will be decided at the end of this World Cup. So clearly a timeline has been laid out for the SOPs to Pakistan cricket, but we still don't know what are those things that ICC is
But
promising.
clearly, true to their nature, Pakistan have used this as an opportunity to extract the maximum out of ICC. They knew that this is their best bet to get that attention, and they utilized this opportunity is what we can make of. Let's also quickly go across to Boria Majumdar. Boria, you were the first journalist really who broke this story and who committed here on NDTV that, ultimately Pakistan will make this U-turn. It has come after 8 days. What, according to you, were some of the big reasons that they had to make this, and what does this mean for Pakistan's international credibility?
The reasons that led to the U-turn are quite obvious now. I mean, Pakistan kind of found it surrounded by or ring-fenced by people who were all aggrieved. Pakistan wanted to show solidarity with Bangladesh, and in fact, the Prime Minister said that sports and politics should not mix, which is the biggest lie of all. सियासत मिक्स नहीं होना चाहिए sports and politics. I mean, देखिए इसके बाद क्या हो रहा है. But Pakistan said solidarity with Bangladesh, and by withdrawing, the biggest loser would have been Bangladesh because they would have lost the maximum amount of money.
Right.
Secondly, Sri Lanka said to Pakistan during terrorist attacks in your country, we supported you. What about now? So that the interest of the Sri Lankan board was put forward. The Emirates Cricket Board said the same. They put forward their own interest, saying, hello, we've supported you at a time of crisis. What about now? So Pakistan all of a sudden found itself surrounded. Plus, there was enormous pressure from the associate member countries saying, our income depends on this money. We have protected you. You're a member board. Now you do your job. So Pakistan had no other alternative. The alternative was gone.
Right.
The posturing could not kind of give them the kind of leverage they would have asked for. So they had no alternative but to do the U-turn. What they needed to do, that they were after a face saver so that they can tell the world that, oh, you know what, we won this battle, we won this negotiation, we won this diplomatic dialogue. Naqvi can go and posture in front of his own country. That was the only thing, the face saver. Otherwise, Pakistan had no wiggle room left.
Right. And Preeti, that was what we've been discussing. Bangladesh has emerged as the biggest loser. If I can come to you, Mr. Jaishankar, the statement given out by the PCB yesterday that we broke on NDTV was that we're doing this for the sportsmanship. But where was the sportsmanship when they announced the boycott, that they will not be playing against India?
There was no sportsmanship at all right from the beginning because Pakistan must have seen Abhishek Sharma and Ishan Kishan batting, and they would have decided, in any case, we're going to lose. Best is to make a more high drama out of it. And what will we lose? We'll lose just 2 points. Anyway, we would have lost 2 points. We might as well take these 2 points penalty and keep moving. But what they didn't realize is there was a whole lot of other things which would be attached to it. And in the 11th hour, the way they are pulled out, it was 100%. Now the question of whether Bangladesh asked them or Sri Lanka asked them, now this is Pakistan must have gone and begged them. They would have told them, please do this for us. Give us a chance to get out of this. We've got ourselves into a hole, and only if you say these things, then we can dig ourselves out of this hole. And that's the whole thing that would have happened. Because if ICC had succumbed to Pakistan's blackmail or ransom, it would have set the template for future negotiations with ICC. This would have always happened. But ICC stood firm and said nothing doing. And no, Pakistan obviously needed a face saver. And their face saver was this. They're now talking that, because of Bangladesh, because of Sri Lanka, because of Emirates, because of etc. All these things.
In fact, they were hoping to get all the other Asian cricket boards also with them. But that didn't happen. That didn't come about. But Major Nadeem, give us some inside story, sir. You seem to know a lot about Pakistan Cricket Board and how they work. I want to know from you that when Mohsin Naqvi told Shahbaz Sharif that now we'll have to play against India, was there any reaction from your Prime Minister?
He just asked his decision about this, whether to play with India or not to play with India. As I told you, our demands are met. ICC Deputy Chief himself came to Pakistan, not Pakistan went to the head office, right? He came to Pakistan and he requested us.
You could have denied them
entry. Sri Lankan
you were not interested in talks.
Just like Sri Lankan president, just like UAE, the associate member, and the other.
And when everything was going to take place at the cricket board level, why was the Prime Minister involved in the first place?
The decision is in the broader interest of the global cricket, right? As your ticker expressed, right? Moreover, you should be thankful to us that we have saved your 1,500 crore rupees as well. We don't care about the money.
Our 1,500 crore rupees.
Yes. Pakistan's economy is in doldrums, which I think he's not being able to understand.
Nadeem, do you have 1,500 crore rupees?
We don't care about the money because our economy is not documented. You come and you see the clips of Pakistan.
The economy which is not documented is claiming that they don't need that money.
Compare those clips with Indian Delhi, right? And whenever you took off in an aeroplane from the Bombay airport, see the slum areas there, right?
Sir,
and compare it with Pakistan.
Major Nadeem,
so we don't care about the money.
Let me tell you what one of your cricket legends, Wasim Akram, has said. Wasim Akram has said that Babar Azam's entire net worth is not equal to the one wristwatch that Hardik Pandya wears. Okay, so let's not play the money card. We know who has the money. We know who is in desperate need of the money. My simple question when I started was, where is the self-respect?
They don't even make
someone like Nasir Hussain stood with you all. He said that he's very proud of Pakistan taking a stand. Today he is hiding his face, not coming out in public and say anything.
It was a decision against the double standard of ICC. When ICC took a U-turn and said, okay, we are sorry, we will compensate Bangladesh, we are ready to accept your demands.
Okay, Major Nadeem, I just have a question for us. What did you gain out of this?
And our friends requested the Sri Lankan president himself called to my Prime Minister. We said, we honor your decision and we will come and inshallah we will defeat India also in that match.
All right. But Major Nadeem, what did your country gain out of all these tantrums, out of all these boomerang, which has absolutely fallen flat?
What they gained? I'll quickly add, sir, more masala for you to daydream. Keep on dreaming.
Yes, it is not in terms of materialistic gains, right? I told you it's a matter of principle. The integrity, the sovereignty, and the brotherhoodship with the Bangladesh and with the other associate members in the ICC. And we don't care about the suspensions and penalties. You can't even do about these suspension or penalties, right? You know it. Okay, you can't do. had you been doing this, you would have said to your Jay Shankar, Jay Shah, please don't send your rap to Pakistan. You could have stopped him.
All right.
But you knew.
All right, Major Nadeem,
Yes,
let's
you could have-
also seek the perspective of our other guests here on the show. Boria, let's get you into this conversation. Do you think that there has been some extra pressure put on the Pakistani players now that the match has taken a different kind of significance? And we had Major Nadeem clearly there saying that Pakistan can defeat India.
You know, Pakistan players will be under enormous pressure. Firstly, think about it. Their country said we will boycott this. So the players could not get into the mindset. They traveled to Colombo. Now 3 days or 4 days ahead of a match, and they're psychologically anyway kind of under pressure against India because they've lost almost everything. Asia Cup, they lost 3 out of 3. It's about 8-0 or 9-0, whatever Surya Kumar Yadav had said. This rivalry has been reduced to a very one-sided affair. Pakistan doesn't really win against India in World Cups. India is a better side. So everything is stacked against Pakistan on the field. Now off the field, because of all these shenanigans, because of all these political dramas that we've seen, the intrigue around this match, and now the pressure, Prime Minister, the Interior Affairs Minister, invocation of the Field Marshal, all of these things will absolutely put further pressure on the Pakistan players. How they deal with it, or do they collapse under this pressure against India, is something we've got to wait and see.
Absolutely. And Rika, I want to come in here and take a question with you. Major Nadeem, who's present on the show, has used all the words available in his vocabulary when he talks about sovereignty, integrity, solidarity. What about the irregularity on part of the PCB? At least stand up for what you said to the world. At least, come out with a statement that makes sense. Rika?
Well, this inconsistency of PCB is going to hurt them now and into the future. Look, I feel that PCB was confused themselves. On one hand, they did not want to play, India in Colombo. On the other hand, they were asking for bilateral. So what do they want? Perhaps they themselves don't know what they're asking for. And look, this inconsistency, this, holding a tournament to ransom is going to hurt them. It is going to hurt the ICC, because next time, during the next rights cycle, when the rights are being, talked about, when the broadcasters come into play, they will bring up this matter. They will talk about how, one team had held the tournament to ransom. And, by saving this match, I can tell you that they have saved millions and millions of dollars, not just of their own, but of the ICC and of the world cricket. And remember, Preeti, the other teams, the other members who were there negotiating with Pakistan Cricket Board on that very day in Lahore also told them, if you don't play, if this match doesn't happen, then we will be impacted as well. So that's a food for thought for you, and we are leaving that on the table.
Right, absolutely. And Preeti, because at the end of the day, money matters. And that's exactly what Pakistan has proven. Getting into the conversation, Mr. Jaishankar, talk to us about the lies which now the PCB will try to peddle, the face saving. What will they tell to the citizens of Pakistan?
Well, I think the citizens of Pakistan are used to being lied to, because they're constantly being lied to about a whole lot of other things also. So there's one more lie. I don't think they trust the government at all, to start with. Another thing is, what does PCB bring to the table? It has no money. It has no sponsors. Its viewership is negligible when you compare it to somebody like India. It's not even a good team. It's not even in the top 5 team. I think it's some 7th or 8th. And it brings nothing. They're just living in a fool's paradise. And, I think it's time for them to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, they are just an ordinary team, a small team. And they think that, they can push somebody like India. What they don't realize is, even that friendly match which India played against South Africa just before the start of this tournament as a warm-up, that attracted 43,000 people. So that's the kind of attraction that the Indian cricket team draws. So Pakistan, if it were wanted to boycott, it should have boycotted well in advance, and a whole lot of other things could have been done. But pulling out like this in the last minute is stupid. And for them to say they did it because of Sri Lanka or Bangladesh, are you trying to tell me they didn't think about this earlier? Yeah. They knew all along all this problem was there. They only wanted a face saving, how to get back. because the money would have hit them so hard.
That's why I say the statement
of
issued
the
by
revenue.
PCB doesn't hold water, because it's very convenient of them to remind us about sportsmanship and the good of international cricket, but we all know what the game plan was. Quickly, Boria, if I can take one more question with you.
Also, don't forget.
Don't talk
that
about the sportsman.
Man of the match.
Yeah.
It was India who started this.
Right. Major Nadeem, who started this on 1st of February. I will remind you about that. I have to take one quick question with Boria Majumdar also. Boria, after all that has been done now, we know for sure that Pakistan will play against India, but who has emerged as the biggest loser in this crisis?
In this whole crisis, the biggest loser, I have to tell you, is Bangladesh. Because Pakistan got away. Pakistan, had they boycotted, they would have had commercial implications, legal implications, and 1,000 other things falling on them. But now, they've got no problems. They're playing the World Cup. They are in Colombo. They're playing the US game tonight. They are going to play the India game. Whether they lose or win, they are assured of a certain participation money. They are assured of all of that. Think about it. What did Bangladesh get? Bangladesh got one ICC tournament. The ICC would not penalize was known. ICC would not ask for compensation because they've got Scotland in. So they would not penalize. That was known. Second, Bangladesh has just got one tournament between 28 and 31. Now, for that tournament, you've traded non-participation. The players qualified. You've taken the rights away from the players of participating in a World Cup. What about the fans? The fans who had booked travel, booked holidays, booked everything, you've taken that away from them. So this political posturing of making this into a war against the ICC and trying to fight the entire cricket world, this whole thing that, country first or cricket first, the false narrative that Bangladesh decided to spin has impacted them the most. For me, the biggest loser in this whole thing is Bangladesh cricket.
Well, we know, Boria, that, posturing is temporary, but pressure, especially financial pressure, is permanent. And that's what Pakistan faced. But for the moment, that's all the time we had. Thank you very much, Vedim Jaishankar, Major Nadeem, Rika, and Boria for joining us on this broadcast. Of course, this story, I have to tell you, Resha, is just about unfolding now. There will be more drama from Pakistan as we lead up to that big clash between the two countries.
Absolutely. 8 days of tantrum boomerang has fallen completely flat. And India and Pakistan will be playing in Colombo at the T20 World Cup. But right now, slipping into a very short break.